This was requested of me. I had no intention of buying these for my own purposes because, full disclosure, I feel like they might be a little bit gimmicky. And that's the Chameleon markers. Now, I know you may have seen these on Facebook. They're the markers where you use them and they can take a color, like the saturation of it from like light to dark, but in the same color, like releasing more pigment or something. And they do all the fancy looking, you know, Facebook videos and shit. And it looks gimmicky to me. And I just didn't have any interest in getting them. Well, you asked. And I could have done this for a tip test Tuesday. However, I figured that since these, they're alcohol based, they're not something that I would generally use for lettering because you have to use them on a specific kind of paper like Copics, or they soak right through. So to me, they're more of an art supply, even though I'll probably test lettering with them anyway because that's what I do. So that's just semantics, but whatever. This isn't Tip Test Tuesday. This is this a fucking gimmick Wednesday? I bought these at Michael's. The pack that I got is the floral tones. So what it has is a lavender, like a mauve, and a bluish purple and pink, like these colors. These are the colors that it has. There's 5 of them, $26.99. I used a 50% off coupon. And I will continuously remind you that if you buy shit from Michael's, use a coupon. That's what they're there for. Knock that shit down. $26.99, full retail at Michael's for the 5 of these. 5 markers. Let me do the math. I mean, even if they were, that's cheaper than Copics, I suppose. Let's read some claims, shall we? Claim number 1, these are a fucking gimmick. No, okay, I gotta stop. I have to actually be less judgmental about these off the bat because I haven't tried them yet, but I have my whole mind is just like, come on, man. Create stunning effects such as 3D, smooth transitions, highlighting, shading, graduations, and blending, all with one pen. Each pen goes from as light as a hint of a tint, could be in a haiku, to rich tones. Professional quality alcohol-based ink, refillable, replaceable Japanese nibs, permanent on most surfaces, compatible with all other alcohol-based inks, non-toxic, and low odor. So let's take them out real quick and see what we're looking at. I pulled them out once for my patrons and I couldn't get the fucking, there's like tape or something to keep them in place. And I was like, Jiminy fucking Christmas. I know that there's like some like magical situation that happens with these pens, but like, look at this. Whoa. Motherfucker. This is how big, it's like a fucking baton, dude. And then here's like a flare marker for comparison's sake. So I don't even know what's going on. Is there instructions that come with these? Please tell me. Oh, thank God. There's like paperwork. Oh, because that was going to be a problem. Read instructions carefully. We're going to just go through this together, guys. We're going to go through this together. Number 1, Chameleon color tones can be used in 2 ways. As a regular alcohol-based marker, or use the toning medium in the mixing chamber to change the color of either nib. One pen gives you multiple color tones from the lightest tint right back to the original color. Nibs. Your Chameleon color tones are double-ended with a Japanese bullet nib at one end and a super soft brush nib at the other. Both can be infused and are easily replaceable. That's good. And I know that that's something that the Copics do too that people really like, that things like Spectrum Noir are not quite so fun about. All right, let's see what's going on here. I don't know what's what. Is there like a diagram? Here we go. It still doesn't tell you what exactly everything is, but I think, if I'm not wrong, this is the blending chamber, question mark? This part? I don't, like, can you make sense out of it? Okay, and then there's this. Oh, there's another lid. Okay, so we have 2 nibs here. So maybe this is the blending chamber? Okay, well, let's look at the nibs really quick. I'm gonna test the colors and try this out, but I'm gonna just do this. This is gonna be painful probably. And for those of you who know how to do these already, like, don't judge me. Come on, man. Like, a pen should be accessible. So here are the nibs. Let's hold this up like a fucking beauty guru. We have, this is the bullet tip nib right here. Can you see that? Woo, bullet tip. And then this is the soft brush nib. Oh, where's the camera? There, whoop, there's the camera. Hee hee. Ah! My camera fell because this whole video, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Okay, let's read about the nibs here because that always has some great fun. Firm nib, great for outlining, drawing, and working in very small areas with precision. Coloring, the bullet nib is very durable. The brush nib has a paintbrush feel. Its soft, fibrous structure allows ink to flow beautifully across paper for bigger color gradations. The brush nib is super soft, so for longer life, be light-handed. Well, fuck. When using your Chameleon pen, the super soft brush nib may seem slightly hard and appear pointed, but in use it will quickly soften. Once this natural breaking in process is complete, The fibers at the end of the nib will loosen and splay a little. This is normal and allows it to perform more like a paintbrush. This is hilarious. The brush nib is delicate, so for extended nib life, be light-handed when coloring. In the event that you damage either nib, don't worry, they're inexpensive and easy to replace. So this seems like it's already fucking warning me about being heavy-handed. Okay, I think I've read about as much as I can get out of this without like having the camera down so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna switch over to that, gesturing at you with my giant pen. I'm going to switch over so that you can see. I'm going to try and do this. I'll just test out each color individually, and then I'll do the colors individually first, and then I will give this gradation situation a try, and we'll see how it goes. I certainly hope these are cool because this is a lot of prep work to go into using a goddamn pen. Just saying. Okay, the paper I got here is alcohol marker paper, so it's meant for markers like this. Full disclosure, so that I can give the nibs their best shot. All right, so let's take a look at color first. I've got 5 colors. We have lavender, peony pink, mauve, fuchsia, and dusty rose. So let's just test out what each of these nibs looks like without any of this situation that is the mixing media or whatever the fuck it is. So we'll start with dusty rose. I'm assuming that this is like the faintest situation, right? Like you're gonna have to use the toner to get a darker color, but here is how the brush tip works. Oh, I kind of like this brush tip. Wait, let me give this a shot here. Oh no, I think I like it. That's gonna bust in my gimmick issue. Okay, so I think I like the brush tip, but we'll move on to the colors for now. So this color is mauve. I will say that I'm terrified of fucking these brush tips up. The instructions were so specific about heavy-handed people. This is lavender. This is peony pink. Fuchsia. Let's take a second and just talk about the brush nib, I guess. We'll go with fuchsia. So it's a small nib in comparison. Like, for example, here is one of the Pentel, like the Soft Touch, the Fude. Much smaller than that, which it would be. The Copic markers tips are gi-fucking-normous, and that's way smaller than that. Smaller than a Tombow. I kind of like the size of this, so let's just try a little lettering out. Let's do like a test. Write my favorite word in brush lettering, I swear to God, is hello. Kind of hard to get like the transitions between heavy and light strokes, and I'm really curious to see, like, it says that the tip is going to get kind of janky just so that it can act more like a paintbrush. Let's do some testing, shall we? Like, see how it's so hard for me to, like, I have to be really careful to even try and get that, and like my transitions are very clumsy here. But like I said, these aren't really meant to be lettering pens, I don't think. I think they're meant to be more like illustration pens. This is a little easier. Transition from light and like light stroke into heavy strokes a little easier than heavy stroke into light stroke. Not really anything so like phenomenally fancy that I have to use these for lettering, but I could make some use out of them. But that's not why we're here, people. So it goes through the marker paper that it's meant for, but it doesn't like bleed onto the next paper, which if I used regular cardstock, it totally would. We're not here for the brush nibs. We are here for this situation. So I'm reading the instructions here. We got this. So how do we do this? Choose the nib. We're gonna go with the brush nib. Oh no, wait, these colors, if I'm reading this correctly, these colors are the darkest color. If you add the mixing medium or whatever, then they get lighter. So we're gonna go with mauve, because that's our fuchsia, because that's the darkest one. So it gives us a chart of what's gonna happen. We're gonna try 5 seconds on the brush nib, right? So we'll give the brush nib, because that's the tip we're gonna go with. Then you take this thing off, right? So this is the toner situation, and it leaves this little cap on. So we're gonna put it here so that the nibs touch. They're touching. Now hold it vertically for 5 seconds. 5 Mississippi. Let's see what happens. Here, it should look like this. I didn't see any difference. It didn't say shake it, did it? No. I'm reading the instructions. Let's try this again. Let's go for 10 seconds. Okay, that was 10 seconds. I don't understand what the fuck is happening. Is this not working? Do I have to do something first? We're gonna let this sit for a while, okay? I'm gonna wait for like half a minute. Okay, here we go. That was 30 seconds. There. Wait a minute. So, wait, you can see that, right? Like, let me zoom in even further. You can see that, right? There's like a tiny little bit there. What? Is there supposed to be more than this? Let's wait for a minute. That was a minute. I don't even know. Let's try. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? You see, that was pretty, but now it's back to where it was. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong here. Okay, I'm gonna try a different color. Let's try lavender. Okay, we'll try lavender. We'll move this paper up now, and we'll try the bullet nib. All right, let's try the bullet nib. No, let's try the brush nib, because it's what I like. Nope. Okay, brush nib. Mixing medium. They're touching. I'm gonna wait for 30 seconds. Okay, we got like 40 seconds actually. Let's try this. Lavender, right? Now see this. That worked. I don't understand. What the fuck? Let's just give it like 10 seconds because that worked really well. I'm very confused. All right. It's working better on this one. I mean, I guess I would have to practice with this for some more control. Let's try mauve, the bullet nib this time. Okay. I only had it on there for like 10 seconds. And there it is, now it's coming in. Okay. I think I'm giving up on this. Fuck! I dropped my camera again trying to set this back up. What's my verdict on these Chameleon markers? I'm sure, okay, give me a second here. Full disclosure, I am not someone who spends a lot of time coloring with alcohol markers. I do not have a lot of knowledge about Copics. They're just not my style. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. Or maybe I just need more practice with these. But to be perfectly honest with you, what the fuck? Really? Like, what the fuck? I like the brush nib, but I could already feel it breaking up the way it says it's gonna, which is how it's supposed to work, but that's not what I like out of brush pens. And the amount of effort you have to put in to get anything out and then like trying to get control, it would take so much practice for me to get the hang of these for, I don't know, like not that, like I'd rather just use watercolors and use water because at least then I have some like idea of how to control it. I already know that there's gonna be people who come onto this and are like, well, you just didn't use it right. You're not being fair to the markers, blah, blah, blah. I know, I'm sure I'm not being fair to the markers because I'm just going at this as somebody who has no fucking clue what they're doing. And for somebody who followed the instructions and got wildly different results with different ones of them, I don't know, man. I mean, I have not been swayed past my initial response that these are fucking gimmicks. That's all I gotta say about that. You try and convince me in the comments and maybe I'll go back to them, but I'm really frustrated at them right now and frustrated that I even spent whatever 50% of $26.99 is on these when I could have bought, you know, some more pigment microns or colored pencils or I fucking don't know, like some Chipotle, you know? Just saying. This is like an art supply that I'm not even sure if I can get behind, but for now, as my layman, not knowing what in the hell I'm doing and not as fancy as I would like myself to be, that opinion is these, unless you want frustration, try something else. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.